Today we are going to learn about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, you're going to learn all about him in this video. Frederick Douglass was a public speaker and a writer who fought for the rights of African Americans and women. He was one of the main leaders who helped end slavery, working together with President Abraham Lincoln. Let's learn about his life. Frederick Douglass was born in 1818 in the state of Maryland. Do you know where Maryland is in the United States? Where is Maryland? Yeah, Maryland is right here. It's in the northeastern part of the United States. Back then, Maryland was a state that allowed slavery. Slavery is a terrible system in which people are treated like property instead of people. Frederick Douglass was born into slavery. Because he was born a slave, he wasn't treated with the kindness and the respect that he deserved as a person, because slaves were treated as property, which was why slavery was so wrong. He had to work in the fields regardless of how cold or miserable it was outside. Life was so difficult. He had to work in the morning, way into the evening, working hard every single day, and was not treated with any dignity or any respect at all. Because he was a slave, Frederick Douglass was not allowed to go to school or learn how to read. But he learned anyway. Isn't that incredible? He taught himself how to read. Frederick Douglass taught himself how to read because he knew it was so important. He knew that learning was important, and he knew that learning could be an incredible step towards freedom. Then an incredible thing happened. When Frederick Douglass was 20 years old, he escaped from slavery. He fled to New York, a state that did not allow slavery. He was finally a free man. It wasn't until he was 20 years old that he became free. Frederick Douglass became a preacher and got a lot of experience in public speaking. He spoke against slavery. People who spoke against slavery were called abolitionists. That's a pretty long word, isn't it? Abolitionists. Frederick Douglass was one of the leading abolitionists, one of the leading people who fought against slavery. Frederick Douglass started writing books, and people were amazed at his books, not only because they were so well written, but because of the fact that Frederick Douglass was self-taught. He taught himself how to read and write. Frederick Douglass began speaking across different states, sharing a message of equality and freedom. It was sad. People often mistreated him, but he refused to quit. There were even times where people would throw eggs at him. They were so angry about his message, but Frederick Douglass knew that equality was important, and he knew that slavery had to end. Frederick Douglass became so famous in the abolitionist movement that he became an advisor to President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln listened to Frederick Douglass. He respected his opinion, and he listened to his message. He knew that what Frederick Douglass was saying was true. Finally, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared all slaves to be free through the Emancipation Proclamation. It was a presidential proclamation that said all slaves are now free. For the rest of his life, Frederick Douglass fought for equal rights. He fought for voting rights for African Americans. He fought for equal pay for African Americans in the military. And he fought for a woman's right to vote. He was passionate about everybody being treated with the respect that they deserved because he never forgot where he came from, and he understood how important freedom really is. Frederick Douglass, a former slave who became a public speaker, a writer, someone who fought for the rights of African Americans and women. Thanks for watching this Homeschool Pop video on Frederick Douglass. We hope you learned a lot, and we hope you share some of these things with others, because Frederick Douglass was an incredible man who fought for the freedom of so many Americans.